Benevolence. It's David Dimitri. We are live in color with O.W.U, the original world union, and we are coming to manifest. We are manifesting. That's what we're doing. So, yeah. Gratitude and appreciation for all of you who are tuning in. And good rising is the energy we vibrating. Remember, the whole point of this is to understand and realize the oneness of all of us, and our being part of that oneness and vibrating in support of one another. Love every time, that's what we do. Okay, good. My ambition is to be heard. So hopefully y'all hear me. You don't hear me? Huh? What do you mean? Oh, hold on. Okay. Now what? Okay, good, thanks, y'all. We're trying to get the technical part together real quick. Take a lot of time to get the technical together, so ignoring a prophecy is a subject matter. The only reason I'm doing subject matters is because I want, and I'm going to keep repeating it as I'm manifesting, I want people to know that we have a subject. And you can go to different live streams, you know what I'm saying? People just be talking, having fun, as they should. They're doing their thing. But I want subject to be heard and known. You feel me? I think that's important. So that's, you know. So hopefully everyone can hear me. Have a lot of different things going on with the audio, but ignoring of prophecy is vitally important. You know what I mean? Ignoring of prophecy. And this is what's going on. People we just living super fast, right? What is prophecy? What's the importance? Oh, first of all, prophecy is not religion. Prophecy precedes religion. Anyone, you know, for grown-ass folks, at a certain point, you just had time to piece things together. And a lot of people really never get past religion. Grown-ass, 250-pound, muscle-bound men that are angry because you have a different perspective on life. You know, entire regions of men and women that are angry at other people just because they skin color different, or because they have a different history than theirs, or because they have a different perspective on life. And at a certain point, you should know certain things, like being able to predict the future precedes religion. Prophecy is a form of predicting the future. So how does that have anything to do with religion? Well, religion and the people that made religion stole a lot, took a lot. So hold on a second. Like, a lot of people, men, lie and said that they invented things when they didn't. Well, religions did the same thing. Cultures do that. Some cultures do that. Some just do it, but they will give props where it came from. But a lot will sit back and be competitive with those that taught them. That's just a flaw of human character. And so again, ignoring of prophecy and the consequences is what we're talking about. Can you hear me? You don't think you should have told me that? So let me tweak this audio. What? I can't hear you. You ain't helping me. You ain't talking. I want to try something, y'all, because this particular it is now. Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know why that didn't get off. Uh, that's some bullshit. Everyone, you gotta excuse this tracker thing on my face. I did everything I could. It just barely started back. I don't know why. Not about to fuck up the whole damn live stream fixing that. It would take a quick. But back to the subject matter, we are talking about ignoring a prophecy and the consequences. So that's what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're doing right now. Uh, what prophecy is not um, religion. Seeing the future precedes religion, y'all. And you know, you have a certain amount of time in life to figure things out about life, and that's something you should be able to figure out. The difference from things where religion claimed things that wasn't from religion. You know, that's kind of like when you be an adult. It's like you expect adults to understand adult things, right? And so these are the different levels of what we're doing. So yeah, hopefully y'all can hear me. How does this sound? Is it loud enough or is it low? Is it? Okay. How does it sound now? How does it sound now? Huh? Oh, okay. So are you hearing? How does it sound now? Oh, okay. Okay. So y'all, we have a time delay, and a couple of things are going on right now, and I'm really not knowing why I'm getting some issues with some of my stuff. There we go. There we go. Okay. So we have prophecy of the economic downtrodden, correct? We have, it's been prophesied. It's been prophesied that the world would be controlled, which started thousands of years by one people. And this is preceding the thousands of years that it was prophesied. And that those one people would control the world through whoredom. And so when you say prophecy, different religions have different books and different types of prophecies. But one thing that's universal is that 1,000 years they prophesied that one group of people would take control of the world. And when they take control of the world, they called it glamour. It was equally interpreted. And glamour is talking about materialism. And so you call it capitalism, focused on controlling of the material world. And so to force people into being materialistic, and if you don't make it, then too bad for you. Comprehende? That's what has been going on. But it was prophesied it would go on. So what has been prophesied would be going on now is that that control group and their control grid would fall. And that's why this image is up. That man represents a group that about 400 years ago took control of the world, and they pushed us into this hyper materialism and capitalism, correct? So this is what we've been dealing with for hundreds of years, before that even 1,000 years to get to this point. So what's the prophecy? Is that it would crash, economic crash, and also global warfare. We really had a World War I. The human race had a huge battle called World War I, and then did it again with World War II. It was those that took control of the world, ego clashing. They call it nation states, countries, nations. It wasn't what it seemed. It was really just the Europeans who had all the power, who had colonized the world, took control of the world, fighting each other over who would stay in control and how much control they would have. Because that's who controls the world. What used to be that way for the last about few hundred, 500 years, right? Well, now that's coming to an end. And now we're going to the next level, the third level of that war, which is World War III. And when you say that, you mean protracted combat, not the world war to take control of our minds. We're already in that. These technologies that I'm speaking of, the microphones, the roadcaster, the switcher. Look, I can switch back to myself. I haven't got the time thing down, y'all, but I switched back to myself because I can. And so we doing this, benevolence. We're talking about ignoring of prophecy and consequences. Social media has everybody hyped up, having fun, doing their thing. But that is not going to get you to survive through what I just had up, World War III. It's not. You're not going to make it through the Second Civil War or World War III once it becomes protracted combat. I'll explain deeper, but I'll say this. The world's MI6, that's British. You got the Israel, the Russian, and the United States CIA, the intelligence agencies, even the FBI. They are at war with the Chinese and the Russians and the Iranian intelligence. That's already war. Then there's economic war, sanctions, and secret hacking of each other and destroying each other's business deal, freezing each other's bank accounts, murdering scientists. All that's warfare. And that's what you're in. A Cold War, Second Civil War. That's why you're having economic problems. That's why there's no job, no opportunities. That's why it's not just the shift into digital currency that's the issue. It's not just that things are outdated. It's not just social changes for equality and all that. The selfish are trying to blame those things. What's going on is the powers shift that SADC or BRICS countries, now they call them that. That's their group of countries who are opposing the old vanguard, which is the United States, Britain, Germany. You know what I'm saying? And Israel. They're opposing them. The BRIC countries are opposing those countries. So it's causing everything to be inflated when it comes to cost and resources to be unaccessible. Thank you. Bless you. Enjoy your day. Bless you, love. So, gratitude. And so, this is where we're headed. I'm going to change this battery out, y'all, but we're going to keep going. Just keep listening. I'm going to keep talking, but check it out. We are at that point of World War III and the Second Civil War in the United States. What that does is that puts everyone in a situation where puts everyone in a situation globally where we should all be preparing. That's right. We all should be preparing. Economic collapse is unavoidable. It's unavoidable. Well, it's impossible for this warfare that's going on, this try to keep it quiet and secret warfare that's going on to continue in that manner. We still have the Olympics. We still have the World Cup. You know what I'm saying? We still have the Ironman competitions worldwide. We still have the big boat races. We have all the surfing. And I'm talking about all these sports that are, I'm talking about these sports that are very high-end finances, not regular popular sports and sports events, but yet you still have Super Bowls. You still have National Basketball League, the associations, finals and championships. You have the National Baseball League championships, world championships. You have, we just had the undisputed world champion heavyweight championship in boxing where a Ukrainian won and is of this generation the greatest heavyweight champion. But everybody thought that the greatest heavyweight champion was going to be Deontay Wilder or Fury. No, it turns out to be a man no one knew. But those of us that are real boxing enthusiasts, I knew. That's how we're in the same situation with, we have to conduct ourselves. He's from Ukraine, Alexander Usyk. His people are in a war with a megalith country, which they've been part of and family with, and it's like a family feud. Thousands of people are being killed. His own people. His family's at threat. But to keep the inspiration going and to keep the hope alive, he went out and beat the towering giant that has all the skills. But his skills paid the bill. Now he inspired the Ukrainians in the world that you could keep fighting under all that pressure. And let me tell you something. I'm glad right now not too many people are here to hear this or to know that I'm doing this. So the reason why I'm talking about ignoring a prophecy and consequences and putting it in this perspective is because I've been through a lot. I don't know how long I'm gonna live, but I feel as if there's a big shift between those that are in positions of power. It even went down to entertainment. You go back 20 years ago, the conspiracy theory thing, so all the political class and investor class knew that the masses of people see them for what they are now. But over the last 10 or 6 years, 5, now everybody in entertainment know that are big in entertainment, especially the corrupted people, they know that the common people know them for what they are. They can't hide their dirty laundry. They can't hide who they are. So they're in a situation where they have to change who they are. And yes, social media has helped that, but people being enthusiastic about exposing them, right? That's what time we're in. Yet, you also have to realize that we're in a time of lack. We're in a time of neediness. This subject matter that I'm talking about is ignoring of prophecy and consequences. The spirit of lack is real. And this is something that we're having problems with. Lack of consciousness. Lack of awareness. And the lack of concern and care to be aware is really part of what's happening. The disintegration of concern and care to that which will benefit you in the short term and long term. Yet it's good that the young people get to realize their different levels of expressing themselves and not giving a fuck. It's very important that young people go as long as they can and not give a damn about anything but loving themselves and loving one another. This is vitally important. And I say going into 30, 35 years old, going on to 40 years old. You have to start caring more as you get older so you can be aware of things. You don't want to be 20 years old in a 10-year-old mind state. You just don't. You have to be and stay aware and get more and more aware of your own potential and the things around you and how things work. Yet, I am a proponent and supporter of people that are in severe, tormenting poverty, who have not self-sabotaged, that are not to be blamed for their suffering, that have no control over it, that were born into that. And every time they're facing harsh circumstances, they perform in a way where they're benefiting themselves the best they can and keeping things less suffering as possible. And I'm saying this because you need to be aware, coming into World War II and the Second Civil War, that ignorance is the deepest proponent, because that lack, the spirit of lack, is manifesting as ignorance, putting our energy toward things we want. I wanted to make it clear I'm not judging the youth. Like I said, all the way up to 30 years old, you got to, at a point, be happy as possible, joyful, energetic as possible. You can't let thinking negativity and giving pessimism and giving bad things going on in the world your energy. But at the same time, you get about 25 years old, you have to be learning things that you haven't learned at 20 and 21. You get 30, you don't want to be 21-year-old in your mind, and there's a lot of that going on because people are thinking with their pussies and their dicks. You shouldn't be thinking with your pussy and your dick 24 hours a day. Give yourself a couple of hours, think with your pussy and dick. You're only 20 years old. You're only 18. You know what I'm saying? You 25. You 30. I get it. But you have to see where trauma from being abused and being hurt or being in a state of shock, how that pushes, and then you got other people influence you with ways. You got the music influence you with attitude. You get certain attitudes because of certain music, because of certain video games you play, because of certain movies and people you like, certain athletes you like. You got to realize somebody that's wild and crazy and being allowed to be that way, like that dude Ryan Garcia. You know, it's like July 5th, 2024. So he's acting a fool, right? Well, it's certain people that's acting like that. They tripping out. They trying to mimic that. And so that's how it goes. And that has a lot to do with preparation and being. So awareness has to do with preparation for an economic crash, preparation for Second Civil War, preparation for World War III. The government is preparing. It's going to make all y'all young asses, and whether you want to be ignorance or bliss, if bliss is your ignorance, guess what? It's going to catch up to you. The government just said all of y'all 18 through 35 are going to be pulled into the military. Why? Because they know a war is about to happen. So all of y'all pussy popping online, looking fly and all that, what would we say if resources are cut off because the war becomes protracted combat globally, and they even announce that we are in war with China, we are in war with Russia? What would them young men and women, that's all they know how to do is dance and show their ass? You're gonna become, the resources are about to be cut off, the food and all that. What are you gonna be doing? It's gonna be prostitution. I know this. I studied in Geneva and off in Davos. That's in Switzerland. I studied international humanitarian law. And I'm telling you, if you already close enough to and if you think the internet is going to continue, they're already about to cut TikTok off. That's because they're already in war with China. The economic level of the war, the intelligence level of the war. You can get information on people and information about governments and companies online. They don't want that in the United States. They don't want them hacking through TikTok and through all that. I'm not saying I support what they did. I don't support cutting off TikTok in the United States and then the Americas. But it is what it is. I don't control it. But I'm just telling you, ignorance is not bliss. You're in the second Civil War. The second Civil War is already here. Why? Just like I said, it's a cold third war. All that stuff adds up to a World War III already. Well, the second Civil War is already here. Look at Donald Trump. He's a felon. He's an official felon, man. And he's close to becoming president, closer than all the other Americans. There's two people closest to becoming president. It's Joe Biden and it's Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is a felon. He's a convicted felon. Regardless of the bitching and all that, he's a convicted felon. So this is two super factions fighting each other. They control the administrative state, which is one of the areas of government in the United States. They control the intelligence agencies. They're fighting over who's going to control the intelligence agency. That's why I'm talking about cutting off the FBI, cutting off the CIA. That's bullshit. They just want to take control of it. That's why people are like, stop law enforcement. The masses of common people take that shit to heart and think that the people funding those commercials and funding that movement to stop law enforcement are doing that for you. They're not doing that just for you. They doing that because they want to take control of law. That's a means of negotiation, pressure, putting pressure on them so they can negotiate, behave in this way. They want to take control of law enforcement. So the same thing with the legislative, executive, and judicial in the United States. And the fourth area of the government is the media, the mass media, the corporate media. Then you have the administrative state. Those are the five tentacles of the United States government. And then you have the sixth, of course, which is the intelligence agencies, which is the intelligence community. The United States just lies and tell you there's only three: executive, judicial, and legislative. Well, actually, there's 6 areas of government which are under control by the United States. All that given to you, but ignorance is bliss. You don't think the second Civil War is real. Hold on, you don't think that EBT will be cut off. Don't worry about EBT. You don't think them Amazons are shut down. You don't think those Amazons and those warehouse jobs are shut down. You don't think those warehouse jobs will switch over to all military. Everything is a laughing game. You think everything gonna keep carrying on and they're just gonna keep making you guess. You don't think them bombs are real in Palestine. You don't think them people are suffering in Haiti. You don't think those people are suffering in the Congo. You don't think it ever happened here because you immigrated here. And so everything gonna keep going on good in Disneyland for you immigrants. You're always gonna be able to rush off and hide in the United States. You're always gonna be able to come here to get away from whatever trauma going on in your country. Russia and the United States always forever just gonna be playing like they're at war with each other. It's never really gonna hit the fan. Never gonna drop. You out of your goddamn mind, if you ever had one. Ignorance. The permanent children, as Marcus Garvey and Elijah Muhammad said, for Black Americans is the slavery and the racist oppressors wanted Black American men and women to remain permanent children in their mind, so they would afflict them, oppress, afflicting. United States government took that and said, we're going to make all of our masses, regardless of their race, permanent children. So that's why no one follows me, because every time you look at my social media, I'm doing some mature acting shit. So I'm talking about some mature subject matter here in a calm, cool way. Because when I get to acting a fool, you're gonna be the ones I'm talking about, because not just because you did tap in, but you left because you wanted to see that, you wanted to scroll addiction. But you criticize me. But you addicted to scrolling. So we do these recordings to show, because this is why, another reason why there's hardly anyone, if anybody, watching me, right? Why is he doing this? Why is he talking about that then? There's people watching. There's government people watching and hearing this. They're watching all that we do and all that we are. So I'm letting you people in the government know. I'm with the business. I'm about survival. I'm about law and order. I'm sorry, because law and order is going to be taken away once the second Civil War kicks in. Why? Because of protracted combat. Not only that, terrorist acts. You got these ignorant ass fools going in here shooting up the schools and churches over race. Beyond that, Donald Trump don't become president. What you think they're gonna do? Because it's not what it seems. They're actually what? Why is it a second Civil War? Because they are actually it's embedded in their religion. Those people that, those millionaires and the groups of people that those human capital that those millionaire capitalists control, those millionaires and corporations that are investing in Donald Trump, backing him, giving him his speech points and what to say and what not to say. Well, they want there to be a second Civil War. We're already in that, but they want it to become at the right time. They want to control it. So if he either doesn't become the president, now this is their religion, I wanted to say. It's embedded in their religion that they are dominant and controlling over all the earth and over all people of color. They'll smile in your face and say they're not racist, and it's a damn lie. It's in their religion, it's in the subconscious that they always do good in life and other people suffer. And so that's what that whole super faction, that MAGA, but there's other parts of that are the shadow part of it. Nationalists, white nationalist militias, Christian nationalists, which are white supremacist nationalist militias. Those people are who Donald Trump that control him. Those are the people that are organized, gonna attack the masses of common Americans. And so there's a virus flowing. There's a reality that we have to deal with. And it's manifesting as a second Civil War. There's mad, terrible division. There's bombardments of mis and disinformation. Misinformation is accidental, wrong information. Disinformation is purposeful, manipulative, mind control, deceptive, wrong information. Misinformation, disinformation are everywhere. And then beyond that, we're all different. That's what that whole thing with Kendrick Lamar and Drake is about. You have these people that are people of color that think they're better than other people of color because of material things they have. Drake represents that. Then you have Kendrick Lamar. They're like, we're humans, and we all got to answer to someone. We all got to watch how far we go with things. We got to be balanced. And so I'm with that, and that's why I'm doing this. Because whoever watches this video, whoever it reaches, whoever, because I'm not just doing a live, I'm going to save the live. We are in a second civil war. And ignorance is a choice. It's a decision day by day. You should be preparing and changing your ways and changing your habits to prepare to survive when there's no more of this, there's no more of that. When you can't go out at night without having a card saying you're going to work. Because that's what happens when war happens. Society don't stay the same. Where you can only do certain things on social media. They already warned you. They said they're about to cut TikTok off. I don't even know if this is going to go on TikTok. It's on Instagram. But in YouTube, I'm already adjusting. Y'all not. And I get it. Get your money. Do your thing. But who are you? This message is for those of you that are supposed to be super spiritually conscious. How is that possible if you're indulging in the scroll addiction, the social media addiction? It's a difference from influencing people. If you check my social media on Instagram, YouTube, I sparingly put stuff up. I'm not letting myself get drained and tired over social media. I'm learning how to do all this technology on my own. I got all this technology. I invested. And it'll be better next time when I do another post. It'll look better. It'll feel better. Because I'll put more time into it. I haven't put much time into this. But I want you to know that I'm favored and that I'm chosen and anointed to give you this message. You need to be preparing. Another thing is you can no longer live your life out alone in your own little special world. This thing where there's no leaders and there's no groups has to end, especially for you African Americans that hate to group up unless it's on some petty shit or it's money, which end up division, because money is the root of a lot of division. You got to link up on how to prepare with those that are preparing. How are you so spiritual and you're not even preparing? Where in spirituality tells you not to prepare? Everything about spirituality tells you to prepare. I'm not talking about religion, but you're supposed to be spiritual, but you scrolling and you posting and you following, and it's all about giddy fun, or it's about having events to do the yoga and to give the speech. You're competing for human capital, who's going to follow you, but you're not preparing. They already told you they're about to cut TikTok off. You grown in a motherfucker, and you ain't spiritual as you think because you weren't tried and tested like I was. In fact, you still think because I said motherfucker, something wrong with me. But you ain't linking up with nobody. So when the shit hit the fan, especially Black Americans, you're the least in numbers, but you got enough numbers to be the most hated. In the United States, you're the least in numbers. They coming for you, and don't think they gonna be white. They gonna be coming for you, hunting you. You think law and order gonna be still there? Second Civil War, law and order gonna be against you worse. Blacks always get it worse. You think the police is doing something now? Black Americans are gonna be targets, but Black Americans won't deal with prepping. You think them little guns you got, you think that little tough attitude gonna save you? You can't even get along with each other. You only using a tough attitude on each other. You stay away from white, non-Black people. I know you. I'm Black and just like skinned. Y'all, you need to unite with just the intent to put things in place and to create habits to prepare for economic downfall, sudden economic changes, law changes that are all linked to war. The Second Civil War and World War III don't have to become protracted conflict for TikTok to be cut off and for laws to go against you. You yelling all that reparation stuff. Yeah, I want reparations. All Black Americans should get reparations, of course. I'm talking about foundational Black Americans. ADOS Black Americans. But guess what? You're not preparing, and none of you talk about preparing for the Second Civil War and World War III. None of you. They got one dude, one brother. He from New York, and that ain't the only thing he talk about. That shouldn't be the only thing he talk about, but he does talk about it. I forgot his name. But these are just an introduction to these talks. I'm gonna do continual talks on this level. I'm gonna give you solutions, and I will end it with this. I'm gonna give you preparation opportunities, tactics, strategies. For instance, have you ever heard of a term of strategic relocation? Strategic relocation. See, you haven't. There's a lot you need to know. I didn't have to put myself out there and say any race. I could have just been talking this general to everybody, because it's not general to everybody, and it's not just for black people. Or for, end it with this. This talk is about, and for you special chosen ones that were born into this world from a future that, again, this talk is for those of you that were born into this world from a future. From a future of a golden age on this planet. An age where things are perfect for humans, between humans, and all other sentient beings. A golden age. There are many, as myself, that were incarnated here from that future. We were not incarnated from a past. Everybody on this past life, that's because you're stuck in the reincarnation karmic spell. Well, those of us that broke it already incarnated to that great future of the golden age. But we volunteered to incarnate back here to be the ones of the highest vibrations and the highest consciousness. And that's why those of you that are ascendants go through so much trauma with your family. There's nowhere to fit in. You naturally spend so much time alone. I can go on and on. I have done talks. Go on my YouTube, O.W.U. I'm doing more talks and more teachings about this. I even have a book that I'm manifesting. We're from the future, and we came here. We don't learn anything. We're remembering. You're remembering, you're not learning. You're an ascendant. I call you an ascendant of O.W.U. We incarnated here from that future, not from the past. We're not guessing. We're not unsure. We know everything already. We're remembering. Our whole life is a remembrance. And so this whole talk, it is time for you to prepare. If you don't unite and you don't link up, you're missing out on preparation. You're not doing a full preparation. Guns can't save you. Stacking up food ain't gonna save you. There's so much more to preparing to what's coming, because there's so much more than what they've been told you. And it has to do with spiritual, cosmic, infinite, eternal consciousness. Being able to tap in, receive that data, and being able to go into action. And so, with that in mind, I'm O.W.U. Kalini, Asaru Ma'a, the Pet Bay. Disguised as mild mannered citizen David and Mitri. I'm live in color. Yo, ignorance is not bliss. It's gonna get you in your ass. Y'all just keep playing around and find the hell out, because it's right there for you to find out. And that's what's going on. You're gonna find out. There's no way not to. And that's my word. That's what's going on. I wish all of us, well, I love you in a sense, but I love you for sure if you're an ascendant. This is the ascendancy. It's war. There ain't no ascension. You ain't gonna disappear out of the earth. You ain't gonna be walking around talking to yourself. You need to prepare because this has always been a war for you. War is written all over you. O.W.U signing out.